Laura, without a good clothing manufacturer, are you even ready to start your new clothing business? Anyways, since I already promised that I would show you how to start your clothing business in 30 days, I'll show you how to find a good clothing manufacturer. If this is the first time you're seeing this channel, welcome to the How to Start a Clothing Business series. Today is the 8th of the series, and what we'll be looking at is how to find a reliable, high quality clothing manufacturer for your new business. In the last video of the series, we looked at how much it really takes to start a clothing business as a beginner. What we'll be looking at in today's video would be first, how you can figure out the exact type of manufacturer you need for your new clothing business. Then, where to find high quality clothing manufacturers that are good for your business. In this part, you learn about the best platform to search for these manufacturers, especially if you plan to use manufacturers overseas. Next, we'll look at some elements to look out for when searching for clothing manufacturers on the platform. And lastly, where I would go to find already vetted clothing manufacturers if I couldn't do it myself and I needed professional help. If you've gone through all the videos in this series, especially the first video, I discussed the only two clothing business models that every clothing business operates under, which is the custom clothing line business model and the pre-made clothing business model. And just like with these business models, there are manufacturers that also fall under the two categories as well. So if you plan to start a custom clothing business, it's only wise that you go for a custom clothing line manufacturer because they have both the manpower and the machine power to help your business. Likewise, if you want to start a pre-made clothing business, you go for a manufacturer who sells these clothes in wholesale. They are more experienced, and if they already have an international customer base, it means that they have a team who study market trends, and the clothes you'll be buying from them are not going to be outdated or dead stocks. There are advantages and disadvantages of the clothing business models, and when you use the manufacturers under these categories, you should be ready to face them. I won't be going into that in this video, so I urge you to go and check out the first video of this series if you're interested in learning more about that. But I will say that it's important that you figure out the type of manufacturers you need to use for your new clothing business before you even start any kind of business with them. I was vetting a streetwear manufacturer recently to recommend to one of our one-on-one clients, whom we shall be calling Tina for the sake of this video. So I noticed something very interesting that I think most beginners will miss out on or might not even know, but now you will know. So this particular streetwear manufacturer registered themselves as a custom manufacturer on the platform that I found them on. Ordinarily, a beginner will see this and believe it, but I did not and I don't. I mean, the whole reason behind vetting manufacturers is to prove that the manufacturers are actually telling the truth about themselves, right? Anyways, after a deep dive, I realized that they weren't a custom manufacturer as they had claimed. In fact, this company was working with another clothing factory as a middleman. Is there anything wrong with being a middleman company? No. In fact, middlemen companies are perfect for those interested in buying pre-made clothes in wholesale. I explained a lot on this in the business guide that you can only find when you purchase any of these kits. So back to what I was saying, this company posing to be a factory and custom manufacturer would need to have a very strong quality control unit to even be considered a good supplier if Tina was going to use them. And they didn't even have enough for their size. There could have been a problem for Tina if she somehow decided to use them under my recommendation and then she decided to order in large quantity and then maybe most items in the order got messed up in the process. The process of correcting an error caused from a manufacturer's mistake is a headache that even big clothing brands avoid, and that's why they always do inspections on site. So they go to the country where the manufacturer is located and then they do their inspection on site. But if you're not on site or anywhere in the country where your manufacturer is located, you need to do your due diligence online before you purchase from any manufacturer. So of course, the manufacturer was not considered as part of the streetwear manufacturers that I eventually recommended to Tina. This depends on where you want to source your clothes from. Most people prefer to use manufacturers in Europe, others prefer to use manufacturers in the US or Pakistan or China. Myself and all my partners here at TFB prefer manufacturers in China. We have worked with manufacturers in different countries, and the most professional and efficient manufacturers remain the ones in China. So for the sake of this video, I would only focus on Chinese manufacturers. If you want manufacturers in any other country, there are probably videos or directories that show you how to find them. So go check those out. So without stepping your feet in China, the only platform that you, a complete beginner, can find clothing manufacturers in China is on Alibaba. I personally like the platform for different reasons, and one of them being that it was created or designed to connect manufacturers, middlemen, and companies in China to business owners outside of China. So they have a number of features to this effect. My advice to you is that you take your time and go over all of these features, read and consume everything here before you even start searching for any manufacturer. All of these buttons up here explains what to expect on the platform and how the platform works. So you should know them before you use the platform. When looking for manufacturers on Alibaba, there are a couple of elements that you shouldn't overlook. The first thing you shouldn't overlook is filtering your search so that you can only see verified suppliers. The verified badge means a third party has gone to inspect the companies to make sure that their information is correct. My disclaimer to this is there is more to this inspection. I've vetted manufacturers with this badge that weren't in compliance with some requirements that my clients were interested in. So, if you know that there are some requirements that you expect from the manufacturer, you still need to vet them even after seeing this badge. However, the badge can help you filter out the manufacturers that you should focus on during the vetting process. The next thing you want to look out for is the trade assurance badge. This means that when working with the manufacturers whose profile has this badge, and it's usually verified manufacturers that have this badge, your payments and conversations are protected by Alibaba as long as you carry out all of them on the platform. Trade assurance also comes with the 90 days consumer protection clause so that your payment transaction is protected by Alibaba during that time. Other elements to look out for, and these are very subjective, but I think they are also very important, would be the type of manufacturers that they are, so you know who you're working with, the number of years that they have been on the platform, their company size, reviews, and many more things. For everything I just mentioned, let's see them in play. I would like to point out that with my experience, I would check for a couple more things before making the decision that the manufacturer is worth my time. But everything here is okay for a beginner. For the sake of this video, I'll be using this information to search for activewear manufacturers. I have added all the filters, and so far, these are the manufacturers that fit into everything. The question is, would I use them immediately? No. I will still need to carefully vet them further before using them or recommending them to our clients. A tip that I would like to add is you see those reviews on their pages. Not all of them are real. Most of them are fake and bots. So do your due diligence and make sure you can tell which of the reviews are real and which of them is a lie because many of them are not real. If after everything discussed so far, I know that I still need help with finding clothing manufacturers and I want a professional to help me vet them further to avoid future mistakes, the first thing I would do would be to purchase this business kit. Let's assume that I decide to purchase the clothing business kit. I would automatically be entitled to the contact details of professionally vetted clothing manufacturers. Now, because I'm confused on whether I want to start my custom clothing line business model or I want to buy pre-made clothes. The manufacturers in the kit are both custom line manufacturers and pre-made clothing manufacturers. So I basically get the best of both worlds. Next, I will get the business kit that teaches me how to work with the manufacturers. And since this guide was written based off of the experience of the partners at TFB, what I'll be getting is years and years of experience of experts. So that even though I have never worked with manufacturers overseas, I know everything that I need to work with them. There is nothing a manufacturer will eventually say or do that I would not understand or I wouldn't know about. Next, if I want my clothing business to stand out in a somewhat saturated clothing industry, I now have access to more than 30 something clothing business ideas that I could implement today, and my business will still be very profitable in 10 years' time. Because these ideas took over 6 months to research and they are niched down to an evergreen audience. So the people that will be buying the clothes from me will be an audience that will always be needing what I'm selling. Lastly, I'll also have access to the contact details of custom packaging manufacturers that have also been vetted by the professionals at TFB. So my job would just be to reach out to them, and that will also be easy because the business guide contains some scripts and negotiation templates that I could use to get the best deals all the time. The second thing I could do would be to join the Start Your Business program. It's a 7 weeks program that was designed to take me from a complete beginner to a professional by teaching me the business part of running my own clothing business. In the program, not only do I get everything in the kit, I have complete access to many other resources, tools, and vetted creatives that I need to launch my business like the boss that I say I am. Right now, I have early bird access to the program till the 25th of this month. I've heard that the program is not for everyone. It's only for business owners that are serious about starting the kind of clothing business that they could have only dreamed of. The link to learn more about this program is in the description box. I should check that out immediately. But hang on, if you want to join our newsletter, I would like to personally invite you to be a part of it. You'll get access to business tips, exclusive offers, and many other resources when you're inside the inner circle. In the next video of the series, I'll be reviewing some manufacturers in the fashion business kits. So you will see who you'll be working with when you get any of the kits. What I want you to do, however, is to guess which kits I will start with. I really enjoyed discussing today's topic with you. I hope that you learned a thing or two. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I read all your comments. Thank you for making it this far. I see you now, and I'll see you in the next one. Laura.